All right. How you guys doing? Everybody doing okay? It is a Friday night, December the 19th. And this is 270 weather for the 270 area code and beyond. Thank you for tuning in. After last night's crazy weather in which I had to do a little bit of severe weather coverage. It didn't get too bad though. I mean, there were a few reports of some trees down, some minor damage. There were people that had some power outages, but those were resolved pretty quickly. Um, it was, an interesting night. It could have been. I know this is a term we always use. It could have been a lot worse. Well, it could have been a lot worse. I mean, if we had had additional instability uh, yesterday, then even last evening we could have had something a little more, potent. So I'm glad that it didn't, and I'm glad everybody's okay. It's been a nice Friday, although it has been very chilly. Chile. Yeah, I mean, it still is. I mean, I'm looking at the temperature right now, and I'll check them here in a moment through the mesonet. 38 is what I've got right now here at the Bowling Green Airport. All right, you guys can chime in. You see the real time comments here on the left of the screen. And if you want to send a star, you can do that. For Facebook, you can send a tip. You can send a super user comment. You can do all that stuff. And we'll recap some of these comments here toward the end of the show. Down at the bottom, I've got the latest forecast, just kind of running summation, if you will, of what I'm about to talk about. So that way, if you can't stay for the whole podcast, you still get a good idea of what the weather is going to be, not just for tonight, not just for the weekend, but I'm going to take you all the way to Christmas. Yeah. And I know some of you probably watched me on TV earlier today when, I was showing some of those maybe near 70-degree temperatures for Christmas. I mean, it's really going to be something. And it's coming. It's coming. All right. I hope you're ready for a warm Christmas because that's the way it looks. Here are the numbers for this Friday, December 19th, 2025, from the Bowling Green, Kentucky Regional Airport. A high of 48. Well, you know what? That was only 1 degree cooler than the normal high of 49. So we're right where we're supposed to be, pretty much. And the low was 31. That happened early this morning. No precipitation, even though there was a little trace left over from some of the showers from yesterday, last night's rain, and there were even a few snowflakes. When now I get up at 3, okay, 3 o'clock in the morning every weekday. I get up at 3 so I can be at the TV station, News 40, by 4:15, and on my way in, I saw snow flurries. It wasn't a big deal, and they weren't sticking, and they weren't, it just wasn't a big deal. And they quickly moved away. So there was just enough leftover moisture from yesterday's cold front that when the cold air met up with it, it did produce a few snowflakes, but I didn't run into any ice or any slick spots or anything like that. The wind did a great job of just kind of drying everything off. And even where some of the pavement was wet, it still wasn't cold enough for it to be any big deal. I can tell you what is a big deal, though, and that is, as many people found out last evening after the storms and those gusty winds came through, a lot of people found out that they could use a generator. Oh, you see how I just transitioned into that? Wasn't that smooth? R&R Controls, the home of, yes, HVAC services, but also sales, service, and installation. They are the experts for Generac generators, the number one name in generators. And for those of you who did lose your power last night, I know you're thinking, can I afford a generator? Can I really get one? Yes, the answer is yes. The answer is yes, because Generac has found that there is a consumer level generator that they can build and they can sell, and people are buying them like crazy, because you can't always, like last night, you can't depend on the grid, on the electrical grid. When you get a storm like that last night, when the winds are over 40 miles per hour, 50, 60 miles per hour, you can't depend on the lights staying on. So Generac developed a consumer line of generators made for homeowners. And they're the smaller kilowatt generators that are specifically designed and wired for your home. You see that little box right there? The big box is the generator. It's got the logo on it. But that little box, that tall little box right there, that's the panel attached to your house that operates that Generac generator. And depending on how big your home is, square footage or whatever, then that will determine how many kilowatts of power you're going to need to run your home if you go off the power grid. And the folks at R&R Controls can come out, assess what you need, and then get it done for you. And there's financing. Oh my goodness. I know you think, oh, I've got to pay thousands of dollars to get one of those. Well, not necessarily. It depends on how big of a generator you need. But here's the thing, financing is available. You see it down there in the corner. It says financing by Synchrony Bank. So R&R can set you up with Synchrony Bank, get you on a payment plan to pay for your generator. See, there's no excuse. There's no excuse not to have one. And I know some of you last night are like, oh, I wish I had one of those generators that Chris Allen talks about from R&R. I heard somebody just in my sleep, I heard somebody say that. And see, you're waking up to reality today thinking, okay, this is the day I'm going to call R&R Controls and get something set up for a generator. 270-777-2024. That's the number to call. You can use the website there, rnrhvac.com. They also have rnrcontrols.com. I need to put that one on there too. There's so many ways to get in touch with them and just have them come out and assess what you need. 270-777-2024. That's the number for R&R Controls, because with R&R, you'll never be without. All right, last night, this radar was busy. Remember, we had those two lines of storms coming through, and it's it's kind of difficult to even call them storms, because they weren't your ordinary thunder lightning. There were a few lightning strikes, but there weren't that many. These were two distinct lines that were mostly gust fronts that were coming through, and then they merged pretty much right over I-65. And then once they got east of us, they just kind of, got weaker and started to fizzle out. And some of the winds, I mean, there were some winds, there were some bad winds east of us, but um, there was nothing really serious. And now we've got this very tranquil picture of what's going on right now. There's your radar here at 6:58. Well, 6:56. Sorry, one of these clocks are okay. 6:56 is the actual time here on this Friday evening, and everything looks good. Radar's not seeing anything. We've got a few clouds. You can see a few high clouds um, down toward, say, western Kentucky, Boot Hill of Missouri, West Tennessee. These are high clouds that are beginning to move in ahead of the next cold front, which we're going to have a series of those little clipper systems pass by. We'll get another one tomorrow, which will affect us, and I'll speak more on that in just a moment. First, let's check the current conditions here at almost 7 o'clock on Friday night. Temperatures are still pretty much in the 30s, but I'm starting to see some upper 20s showing up, like it's 28 at the Corvette Museum, but it's 33 at the Ag Expo Center right here in Warren County. You've got a variety of temperatures from the upper 20s to low 30s. How warm did it get today? Could you even call it warm? I mean, yeah. So we made it into the mid 40s. As I mentioned, a high of 48 here at the airport. Mid 40s, some low 40s. Those were the high temperatures today. How about the coldest temperature of the day? Pretty much what we have right now in the mid to upper 20s. Let's look at precipitation. Since midnight, it doesn't show that much, but let me back it up. Let's back it up. Now look. This is past 24 hours. Look at some of these 1 inch plus rainfall amounts. In fact, let me back it up just a little bit more. And here you see the total rainfall, which began, it began, Wednesday night, early Thursday? Yeah. In some places it did, but it was really the bulk of it was on, yesterday, Thursday, and then last night. I mean, it piled on. This system overachieved on rainfall because we were predicting anywhere from a half inch to maybe 3/4, with a spot or two getting an inch. But look what happened. Now this is the 48-hour total. So that would be over the course of 2 days. Look at Glasgow, Barron County picking up over 2 inches of rain. Here in Bowling Green, 1.1 inches, 1.14 inches, almost 2 inches of rain, both Franklin and Scottsville. Right at 2 inches, Munfordville and Hart County. I mean, that was some decent rainfall. It was enhanced a little bit more as that line came through last night. We'll go back to, say, 24-hour numbers, 1/4 inch or so here in Bowling Green, which is factored into that 48-hour number I showed you. But look, here's where the heaviest of the rains actually fell within the last 24 hours, and it's along and east of Interstate 65. That's where the better setup for the heavier rains occurred. But as of today, of course, not much. I mean, early this morning, there were those few snow flurries and a few leftover raindrops as that system moved east and you picked up just less than a tenth of an inch, and hardly even that much. Winds have been breezy today. Now, they're already shifting from the south. That's a good sign because that means that it may not get it's still going to be cold tonight regardless because of mainly clear sky, high pressure. But this southerly wind component is what is going to warm us back tomorrow into the 50s. The quick turnaround from 20s tonight to mid 50s tomorrow, it is going to be, well, let's see, not quite 10 degrees warmer than today, but it'll be close. Some of you may get 10 degrees warmer, and it'll be because of the winds shifting from the south. So tomorrow's going to be a great day to do anything you need to do outdoors. And some of you may be picking up Christmas lights and decorations that you've had outside, and especially those big inflatables that got blown away or blown down or, messed up from the winds last night. You've got all day tomorrow, good day tomorrow, full of sunshine, to take care of that. All right, let's take a look at the current weather picture. And here we are. There's Bowling Green, high pressure over Mississippi at this moment. And this is the shift that's taking place in the winds. Our winds have been kind of out of the northwest, but now as the high pressure moves east, we're going to start to feel that warmer southwesterly flow tomorrow, even overnight. Here we go into midnight. There's the high pressure moving east. Here are the stronger southwesterly winds. See how tight those lines are? The isobars, yes, equal lines of pressure, all fit tightly together. Windy for Saturday. And here it comes. Here's 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. The wind's picking up even early tomorrow. Here's our low pressure system. Here comes another clipper. This clipper is going to be in late tomorrow afternoon and evening. And we can watch it move in. Here we go. Midday Saturday. Breezy, warmer southwest winds warming us into the mid 50s. Now, this front is going to come in, but it doesn't have rain. It's dry. It's just a dry front. Here, 6 p.m. tomorrow evening, the front comes on through, and it doesn't really pick up any moisture until it gets down into the Gulf. Yeah, you see a little bit of rain there. But here's the front. Now you notice, and a little backdoor front that just kind of falls apart. This is Sunday morning, and you can see the winds now coming in from the north. So we warm up tomorrow into the mid 50s, but then behind these little clipper systems, as we get into Sunday, then we're going to cool back down. Not as cold as today, but we will cool back down into the 40s, mid 40s. Not as chilly as today, but mid to upper 40s. But again, that's going to be a short-lived thing because by Monday, here we go, the winds will start to shift from the south, and that's going to take Gulf moisture and start to send it northward. And there it comes. Now, I want you to look at this. Here's a little something that I know somebody's going to go, what is that? What is that little purple thing right there? If you look at this, squint your eyes. Just play along with me. Squint your eyes and stare at that. Doesn't that look like some kind of green monster with a purple eye? like something you'd see in a like in a Japan, old movie, like, yeah, like Godzilla or something. It's like one of those scary monsters that's, coming in there, green, and he's got purple eyes, and he's coming for Bowling Green. I don't know, just when I stare at that, I see things, I see shapes. It just looks like that. But anyway, light rain begins Monday morning, and where it's still a little cool up near the Ohio River, this model is indicating there could be a little mix in there. It's not a big deal, okay? But I just wanted to show you that. Here's Tuesday, okay? Tuesday, southerly winds, southwesterly winds, rain. But it's not heavy rain, it's not thunderstorms, it's just some showers on Tuesday. Christmas Eve. Now we're into Christmas Eve, the real Christmas Eve. Now squint again and look at. Well, it does kind of look like, I don't know, it looks like a head right here, legs, a body. It looks like a disfigured rabbit or something, doesn't it? Zoom out. See that? Yeah. Oh, it really does right there. Look at that. Anyway, it's light rain. I know some of you are like, what drugs are you on, Chris Allen? Sorry. But sometimes I just look at those shapes and I'm like, that looks like something. But yeah, okay. Alien, S.G. Lawson, thank you. It's an alien. Anyway, so there you go. There's Wednesday morning. That's when we're going to get, more showers. Now, okay, this thing just reset on me. Let me get back. Tuesday, Wednesday, there it is. This is Christmas Eve morning, stalled boundary with some light rain showers. No big deal. It's still warm. In fact, it's getting into the 60s on Christmas Eve day. Here is Christmas Day. The rain pulls out, but the warm air stays. And look, southwesterly wind, warm air, unseasonably warm air. We're talking upper 60s to maybe close to 70. The record high, in case you're wondering, for Christmas Day in Bowling Green, Kentucky, is 76 degrees, the record high, which was set in 2021. Now, some of you are immediately going to say, wait a minute. December 2021, wasn't that? Yes, it was. So a record high of 76 happened after the tornadoes came December 10th and 11th of 2021, because we're talking about Christmas Day, December 25th. The warmest Christmas day ever was 2021 in Bowling Green when we hit 76 degrees, and we're looking at getting close to 70 this Christmas. Isn't that crazy? There's Friday, and there will be some showers in eastern Kentucky, but it's still going to be warm. Look at that. Now I'll show you some of the numbers coming up, so stand by. I don't want you to think, and maybe I shouldn't even say this, but here's the thing. I don't want any of you to think that just because it's getting this warm, that something's going to happen. Because it's getting this warm in December, you may be thinking, does that mean tornadoes? No. Please do not go there. I don't see anything like that coming. Just because it gets that warm does not immediately put us in a position to get a tornado. It's just really warm air. The systems that are coming in are not that strong. They're little clipper systems. They're nothing like the setup that we had December 10th and 11th of 2021. These are not that, is what I'm trying to say. So even though we're going to get warm, really, really warm, I don't see that happening with the tornado kind of thing. It's a whole different ball of wax, so to speak. All right, let's look at the European. We follow along. There's the thick blue line. For those of you that have not seen this before, that's what we call the rain snow line. North of that line, it's cold enough for snow. South of that line, it's mostly rain. And here we go into tonight and into the day tomorrow. Why are you not moving? Hello. Oh, it's still not. Okay, let me see if it's loaded. It looks like it's loaded. Have to load in the models to make them work. Okay. So here we go. Oh, it hasn't. Oh, it hasn't finished coming in. But anyway, you get the idea here. Lots of warm air. Even though we take these little dips, we're going to take another one on Sunday when the little cold air comes in for a day, but then it goes away and then the warm air takes over. We're looking at a good 90% of the country on Christmas Day being way above average on temperature, way above normal. And here are the numbers. Check it out. We go 56 tomorrow, 35 tomorrow night once that cold front, that next clipper comes through, but we're only going to make it up to 49, maybe close to 50 on Sunday. That's your last little shot of cooler air, because after that, we're going to keep going up. Back to 56 on Monday with the showers coming in, 61 Tuesday, 66 Christmas Eve Wednesday, and there you go. The numbers have actually trickled up just a bit more, closer to 70 Thursday, Christmas Day. And even the day after Christmas, 69, maybe 70. Mid 60s on Saturday, next Saturday, not tomorrow, next Saturday. It is after that that we see somewhat of a reset of temperatures back to the low 50s as we head into the final few days of December and the final few days of the year. We're talking the 28th, 29th, 30th of December as we get ready for New Year's. It will get cooler. But leading up to that, yeah, it's it's going to be too warm for snow. There's Jen Barrow. So no snow for Christmas, Jen. I'm sorry. Zip zero nada. You're going to be able to put on your short sleeves like I got on here, my R&R t-shirt, my R&R Controls. Where we go? There, R&R Controls t-shirt. You're going to be able to wear short sleeves and shorts. If you want to wear shorts, you can on Christmas Day. How about that? I'm not kidding. It's coming. It may not be record breaking, but it's coming. Thank you for all your comments tonight. We had fun with the looking at the clouds like Linda Denton. I look at the clouds like that. Shapes. Yeah, I used to. I've done that ever since I was a little kid. Junice Blair looks like a dilapidated rabbit. That was a little bit earlier. We saw something that looked like a rabbit. Yeah. So thank you, everybody, for chiming in and playing along on this Friday night. So I hope that you have a great weekend. I know some of you will be doing a lot of shopping, last minute shopping to get it all done before next Thursday. The good news is, if you know, get something that's like a bicycle or say an ATV or a motorcycle or some kind of scooter of some kind, skateboard, guess what? When you give those gifts, you're going to be able to, on Christmas Day, go out and play with those gifts and not have to worry about snow or cold because it's going to be neither one of those. It's going to be pretty incredible, pretty warm. Thank you all for watching 270 Weather and supporting. And you can do that by subscribing. It's free. Remember, I started out subscribers um, with a paywall, and then I decided, I don't need that. Let's just do it for free. I've got a sponsor, R&R Controls, and they support me, and so I don't. Everything is free, unless you want to either tip me or become. There's a tier one. If you go into my YouTube channel, you can see that you can support me by sending me a tip or go into the tier one level. I mean, that's all up to you. But I do appreciate everything you do to support what I'm doing. Have a great weekend, a great night, and I'll see you probably tomorrow evening. I may be back in time to do one of these tomorrow evening. If I don't, then it's because I'm busy doing something else, and then I'm coming in late to do one. But tomorrow's going to be pretty quiet. Sunday's going to be quiet, so I may just not do one of these tomorrow night. Is that okay with you guys? Sometimes I need to just take a break if there's not much going on. But anyway, thank you. God bless you, and I'll see you later.